Hi everybody, it's Richard, and I'm back, and I'm finally back to do my review of Paul McCartney's new album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane. It took a couple of days for me. I finally got my first variant. This is the blue variant. And I'm still going to wait until I get the rest of the variants I ordered to actually do a video of all the variants I'm getting. But I wanted to wait until I actually had a copy of the album to officially review this. And now I do, so I'm back to finally give my review. I know I'm a couple days late. I did a video on my first initial thoughts of the album on Saturday, but now I'm back to officially do a real review. So yeah, I was very excited when I did the video on Saturday. I said this was one of the best albums that Paul McCartney has put out in a long time, and I still feel that way even more now with a few more listens. I really love this album. I think it is the best thing Paul McCartney has done in years. I think he sounds absolutely great on this album. For the most part, there are a few tracks where you can hear Paul's voice is a little weaker, but it really doesn't matter. I really love this album. I think it is absolutely amazing, and I am so glad that Paul McCartney did it. It was well worth the wait. Like I said, I think it's one of the best things he's put out since Memory Almost Full and New. Some people are calling this one of his best albums ever. I don't know if I would go that far. And people are saying it's a masterpiece. I don't know if I would go that far. Although I guess if you consider Paul McCartney is 84 years old, I guess, yeah, you could consider it a masterpiece. But I definitely think this is a classic McCartney album. And I think it's one of the best he's done in years. I think everything about this album is great. Except for maybe one song I really don't like on here. Other than that, I pretty much, 13 out of the 14 songs I either like or love. I really love this album. I think it's great. And like I said before, I have to give props to the great Andrew Watt. He is only a year older than me, and he is absolutely amazing. He's worked with Elton John, the Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, he's worked with some of the greatest people in music ever. And his production is just so good, and it really stands out on this album. The production is absolutely amazing. The one thing I'm really not crazy about, and all respect to Paul McCartney's nephew, I think his nephew did the art for this album. I'm really not crazy about this cover. I find this cover kind of bland and boring. I'm not really crazy about the cover. And I'm not really crazy about the back either. I think the package, the cover, and the back is pretty bland and boring. But the packaging inside the album is absolutely great. I love the packaging with the booklet, and I love the sleeve with the collage. I think the packaging is amazing. I'm just not crazy about this cover or the back. But other than that, that's my only real complaint about the album. So that's a small little complaint. So I won't bitch about that too much. Now, let's actually get into the album. I mentioned the first track on here when I did my initial video on Saturday. As You Lie There, the first track. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Oh my god, this rocks. Paul is screaming on this at the top of his lungs. Well, not at first. I love how it starts out slow, and you kind of get some talking from Paul in the beginning of it. And then it builds up, and Paul starts going into the vocal. Like I said in my video on Saturday, when I first heard the vocal on the first track, I stopped it in my tracks, because I was like, oh my god, Paul sounds absolutely incredible here. He sounds amazing. So, it starts out slow, Paul starts singing, and he is singing about this girl, Jasmine, that I guess he knew when he was I don't know if he was a kid or a teenager. I guess that was like one of his first crushes. And this song is about her, because Paul is thinking back a lot on this album. And he's saying, do I ever cross your mind as you lie? Do I ever cross your mind as you lie there? Like, do you ever think about me as you lie there? And it starts out really slow, and then it builds up, and Paul is screaming his head off on this. And I love when Paul does a rocker and when Paul screams. I think he's one of the best screamers in rock, and he shows it here. He can still hit those high screams. But I love this song. This may be my favorite song on the album. I love how it starts slow, gets really fast with a heavy guitar. Then Paul starts screaming, and then it slows down a little bit again, and then it slows down again, then builds back up, and then it ends on a slow note. I love this first song, As You Lie There. I think it's great. And it's one of my favorites on the album. Then we go to... He starts the album off with a bang with these first two tracks. Then we go to Lost Horizon. I love this song too. I love this. This might be another one of my favorite songs on the album, Lost Horizon. And this reminds me of something, but I cannot put my finger on what it reminds me of. It reminds me of another Paul song, but I can't think of what it is. I think the chorus on this is just so catchy. I love the instrumentation. Paul's voice on this sounds amazing. I love Paul's voice on this, and the lyrics about living for now and you gotta make every moment count. I think those lyrics are great. I think that lyrically this is a good song. I love the instrumentation on it. I think the chorus is catchy. So I love Lost Horizon. Then it takes a dip, but only for one song. This is the song everybody's raving about, and this is the song I really don't like. I just think it's overrated. I think the lyrics in here are some of the best Paul has written in years, but I just don't like his voice on it. I think the music is great. I think the lyrics are very heartfelt, very emotional, but I just don't like his voice on it. And that's the only time on this album I'm really going to complain about his voice. I just don't think it works on this song, The Days We Left Behind. I just don't like it. Like I said, I think the lyrics are really good. I love the lyrics on the song, but overall his voice, he's just struggling on this, and I just think everybody is afraid to admit it because of how emotional and how good the lyrics are in this song, but I just don't like it. And I've actually skipped it. So that's Days We Left Behind. Then we go to Ripples in the Pond. I love how upbeat and catchy this is. It's a happy love song. I think the metaphor ripples in the pond is about their love, like it's ripples, like their love's growing, and it's like ripples in the pond. And I'm assuming this is for Nancy. I'm assuming he wrote this for Nancy. I really like this. It's an upbeat, fun song. Paul's voice again sounds good on it. No complaints. I really enjoy it. I think it's great. Well, that's Ripples in the Pond. And then we go to number 5. I love this song. I love how trippy this is. This is reminding me of psychedelic Beatles, like Pepper, White Album, Beatles, Mountaintop. I love this song. This song is so psychedelic, and Paul talks about magic mushrooms in this song, which I think is hilarious. And I just love the feel of this song. I love the instrumentation, Paul's voice. I love how he has what he's done with his vocal on this song. He's doing a little bit of a falsetto, but it actually sounds good here, unlike The Days We Left Behind. It really works, and I love it. So Mountaintop at number 5. Or is that number 6? Number 6. Then we go to number 7. Which, this is the first time. So we made it through 6 songs. Now we go to the 7th song. The last song of the side 1. So we made it through 6 songs where Paul's voice sounds really good. Now here's the first song where I start to notice it dip a little bit. But it still doesn't sound bad. He still sounds very good. He just sounds older, and his voice has a little bit of wear on it, but it still doesn't sound bad at all. And we go to number 7 here, the last song of side 1, Mountaintop. I love this song. This is a very emotional song. Like I said, Paul's voice is has a little bit of wear, and it's a little raspy here. But I actually think it works for this song, because this is about when Paul met George Harrison, and he's telling a story about going down south and hitchhiking, and they found a lorry, and the lorry gave them a ride, and they were talking about guitars and rock and roll while they were riding with the lorry, and they had to find a place to stay for the night. So this was very emotional. Was very emotional. Paul reminiscing about his early days. No pun intended. That's a song off New. Early days, no pun intended. With George Harrison, and I just think it absolutely. Like I said, his vocal is a little rough on this track, but I think it's just such a nice song, and it adds to the song with his voice being a little rough. I really like Mountaintop. Is it the best song on this album? No. Is it my favorite? No, but I think it's a really good song. And also, this is really stripped back. This is, I think, just Paul with a acoustic guitar. Then I think a little bit of other instruments come in towards the end of the song. It's a very short song. I think it's less than 2.5 minutes, but it's a really good one. Is it the best on the album? No. But is it a really good song? Yeah. So now we go to side 2. And it starts off with a bang like the first side of the album. Started off with As You Lie There. This side 2 starts with Come Inside. And this rocks. Again, Paul is screaming on this one. Great guitar work on this. This is a really great rocker from Paul. And lyrically, it's kind of simple, but it really doesn't matter to me. I love the heavy guitar work. I love Paul rocking out on this song. I really like Come Inside. I really enjoy it. So that's side 1 on side 2. Then we go to Never Know. This is another really good one. I think this one's a little slower. It's another, I think, ballad for Nancy, and it's a really pretty song. It's not the best song on the album, but it's a good one. I like it, and that's really all I have to say about it. Then we go to the song that was the second single for this album, Home to Us, with Ringo Starr. This is the first time we get Ringo and Paul actually doing a duet together since the Beatles broke up. They've worked together many times before. They've written songs for each other. They've played and sang on each other's stuff, but they've never actually done a duet where they're singing back and forth. And this was a very, very good song. I did a video about this song. I loved it from the first time I heard it. I thought it was really good. I love how fun and upbeat it is. And Paul and Ringo are talking about their early life in Liverpool. It's just a fun, happy song. With the lyrics on this, I really like the lyrics. Some people were saying the lyrics weren't that great on this, but I really like it. I think it's a great song, and I think it's great that he had Ringo on it. I think maybe he should work with Ringo more often. I think Ringo really added to this song. So, I really enjoy Home to Us. Now, this next one, hear me out on this one. Life can be hard. I'm having a tough time with this because Paul sounds horrible. I'll admit it, he sounds bad on this song. He sounds bad, really bad on this song. He's singing higher than he did on Days We Left Behind. He's singing really high at the top of his falsetto range. He's singing really high, and he does not sound good at all. But I can't knock this song because the music on this is so good. The music on this is so good. It reminds me, I think Paul kind of copied Ram on here. And a lot of times he doesn't usually copy his other music, but I think he really copied Ram off of Ram on here. Ram on here too. Oh, I forgot about We Too. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention We Too. That was the last song of side 1. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I'll just say, I think We Too is a nice track. Again, it's not the best song on the album, but I really enjoy it. I think it's another song for Nancy, and it works. I think Paul sounds great on it. It's a beautiful song. So, I wanted to make sure I included We Too. Now we go back to Life Can Be Hard. Like I said, Paul sounds bad on this. His vocal is bad on this, but and the music is just so damn good. As soon as I heard this track, I said, Ram on. This sounds exactly like Ram on. The style and the way he plays. I think don't know if he did it on purpose, but he definitely copied off of Ram on here. You listen to this song, tell me the beginning of this doesn't sound exactly like Ram on. You tell me, you listen to this and tell me this doesn't sound like something from Ram, and it doesn't sound like Ram on. Like I said, I'm struggling with this one because I can't knock it, because even though Paul's voice sounds really bad on this track, this is the worst sounding track on the album for Paul, but the music is just so damn good. And like I said, it reminds me of classic Paul McCartney from Ram, so I can't say anything about it. And the lyrics on this are amazing too. It's such a heartfelt song about having a hard time, having a rough day, life can be hard. Life can be hard sometimes. And I think it's great that even Paul McCartney has rough days and he's writing a song about it. I think this was written during COVID, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this is the perfect song for COVID. So Life Can Be Hard. I can't hate on it, even though Paul does not sound good on it at all. First Star of the Night. I love this. I think this is beautiful. This sounds like a lullaby. I love the beginning. I think Paul said he wrote it when he was in Costa Rica or something, when he was on tour, and it started raining. And when you start the track, you can actually hear Paul saying, "Oh, it's raining out." But this is just a beautiful, wonderful song. I love First Star of the Night. I think it's beautiful. Like I said, it reminds me of a lullaby. The lyrics are good. I love Paul's voice on this. So First Star of the Night, we got 2 songs left. Then we go to Salesman Saint. Again, I think the lyrics are good on this one. This is about Paul's father and his mother. And his father was a salesman, and his mother was a midwife, a nurse, so she was the saint. And this tells the story about what was going on during the war in Liverpool, and about his parents. I mean, I think the lyrics are great, but this one I'm gonna have to spend more time with. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't really have a feel for this one yet. I'm gonna have to spend more time on it. Then we get to the final song of the album, which I think is a great song to close this album out. Mama Gets By. And this is a gorgeous song. The music is great. Paul's voice is a little weak on it, but again, I don't think it matters. I think he sounds great, and the lyrics for this are really good. A lot of these songs, the lyrics are pretty much really repetitive, and repetitive, and it's just the same thing over and over again. So the lyrics do lack on this album, but there are a few ones where the lyrics are really good. And this one tells a story. I think Paul said that this one wasn't really based on anybody. It was just a story he thought of. I think some people speculated it was about Cynthia Lennon. I'm not saying it is or it is. I'm not commenting on that. But I saw some people commenting that because it's wondering if this was about Cynthia. But this is basically about a story of a mom raising a kid, and their dad really isn't there that much. And the opening line is, "Mama gets by while Papa gets high." So I think it's a story of mom raising a kid, and their dad's not really there that much. They don't really see the dad, but the wife really loves the dad and stays with the dad because she's in love with him. So she stays with him, and she raises the kid while he's away. I think that's pretty much the gist of the song. And like I said, I think the lyrics on this are beautiful. I think the music is great. Paul's voice is so... You can hear the emotion, and Paul is really trying to sell this song when he's singing it. Paul's voice is really... You can feel the emotion in it. So I love Mama Gets By, and I think it's a great way to close this album. So that is it. That's the review of the new Paul McCartney album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane. That's it. So, my closing thoughts on this is I think this is a great album. Do I think this is one of Paul McCartney's best albums he ever made? No, I don't think it's as good as Band on the Run or Venus and Mars or Red Rose Speedway or Ram. I don't think it's good as any of those. But I do think this is a classic Paul McCartney album. And this is one I'll definitely go back to again. I'll listen to this probably a lot. I think it's 84 years old. This is almost 84 years old. This is a great album from Paul McCartney. I see a lot of people comparing it to Chaos and Creation. The Paul McCartney album I famously do not like at all. If you've heard my thoughts on that album, I do not like that album at all. But I will agree with that to an extent. Because this is the first album since Chaos that Paul is really reflecting on his life and really going back and reflecting and being very reflective and really emotional and letting his feelings out. But he's thinking this, but that's all I'll get. That's as far as I'll go, because unlike Chaos and Creation, this album has some more serious songs and some more has a lot of more serious songs, but it is not a dirge, as I like to call Chaos and Creation. It is not a down album. It does not make me want to take antidepressants. It's not depressing and sad and woe is me. And like I said, I get what Paul was going through when he made that album, but it's just so bland and depressing and sad and boring, and I don't like it. This has more serious stuff on it, but it is more happy, upbeat, fun. It's a fun album, fun listen, and it's a really good album, and really enjoyable, fun album. So that's as far as I'll go with the Chaos and Creation thing. So that is my review of Paul McCartney's new album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane. And when I get my other variants, they're still on their way, they haven't gotten here yet. When I get my other variants, I will do a video and show you all the variants I've got. Let me know what you think of the album and if you enjoy it. Please let me know in the comments. And until next time, remember, peace and love. Peace and love is the only way.